Welcome to Us Watching Us. This is a series of live streams that turn into YouTube videos where we watch ourselves from videos that we filmed in 2009 and 2010 on a trip around the world that lasted about a year and a half. And we are at the very tail end of the trip now. And we will be watching the last days that we had on the international portion of the trip. In Israel, we will be entering the West Bank for a little bit, and then we'll be watching the video of us going home and surprising your family, your mom mostly, because they did not know we were coming home when we came home or went home. And we will look at a map. How about a map?
Other rappers diss me, say my rhymes are sissy.
All right.
Be more constructive with your feedback.
So we will be... Should I go through the whole list really quick here? Because it's the last one of the international portion.
Yeah, gotta talk about the pizza button.
All right, the pizza button. All right, so we are from Virginia, and we started our trip by flying down to Costa Rica and spending some time with my parents in Costa Rica, and they lived kind of like in this area, and then we went off on our own for the very first time and went, I think, over to this peninsula, and then took a boat back to San Jose, and then we flew out of San Jose. So this was all like, I don't know, 2 weeks or a week and a half or something like that we were in Costa Rica. And the only real reason that we went down there was because my parents were living there at the time. And we then flew up to New York, stayed there for one night, pressed the pizza button, and then we flew to Thailand via a stop in Alaska, just at the airport, and then a stop in Taipei. And then we flew down into Bangkok, and we stayed in Bangkok for a month. And when we left Bangkok, we went north and went up this way for about a month. Came back down through the western side, came back through Bangkok, renewed a visa, went down south, got down to Phuket, went down to some islands. I got really sick. Then we crossed the border into Malaysia. We spent a couple of weeks in Malaysia, went to an island over here, and made our way down to Singapore. And we spent a little bit of time in Singapore and got engaged when we were in Singapore. And then we flew down to Jakarta. And we did a whole bunch of stuff in Indonesia for a month. And during that time, we went to this little island over here. It's amazing. And Flores. Yeah, I can never zoom like easily and find it, but I know it's here. It's this one. No, wait. Yes, no. I recognize Rutang. That's the right place.
Yeah, Rutang sounds
Did they rename the island?
What? Tengaro.
That's not what it was called when we were there. It's called Flores. Anyway, we went to the Komodo dragons and saw those, and it was amazing. Like, this whole island was amazing. We motorbiked across it. This might have been kind of where we fell in love with motorbiking.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you fell in love with me. I guess that was before you proposed.
A couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
And then we made our way back up to Bangkok. And
how'd you weasel it down to me?
We flew up to Bangkok. And then we went up into Laos, and we spent a month going around all of Laos and then down into Cambodia. And I scared Katie one night really hard in Cambodia. It was really funny.
Not funny.
And then we went back to Bangkok again, and we flew to Hong Kong. And we spent some time in Hong Kong. Got a driver's license while I was in Hong Kong. And then
subsequently lost it.
And then we went to Macau, and then worked our way.
Macau had pork buns.
Pork buns, yep. Then we worked our way into China. We went to Guangzhou.
Great soup. We're just saying random things that happened.
The great soup was outside of Shanghai. You always say that. You get this mixed up. This is where we saw dogs in a market in like.
Oh, that lady told me don't take pictures.
Yeah.
Don't sell dogs.
No, that was in Korea.
That was in Korea?
Yeah, that happened way recently.
Oh.
And then we worked our way up to Shanghai through this beautiful lake area, actually, and then up to Beijing. And then we went to the Great Wall of China, and then we flew from Beijing into Seoul. And we ended up spending 5 weeks or so in Seoul, maybe more than that, in South Korea, going all over the place. We went basically everywhere, up and down a couple of times. We went to Jeju, went to Loveland, saw some old ladies with some dildos. We went to the border security area, DMZ area. It was really, really cool. Then, for the first time ever, we flew to Japan. And we landed in Sendai, and we stayed with some friends that we'd never met before, but they're still our friends. And then we made our way up north to Hokkaido. And we just did a little bit in Hokkaido for, a week or something. And then we went back down to Sendai. And then we went down to Tokyo on a bus. It was our first visit to Tokyo, where we ended up staying in a hotel that was like 2 blocks from where we subsequently, years later, would end up living. which was kind of cool. And then we went on a bunch of trains and went down to Osaka and Kyoto and Nara, and we went to Himeji, and we went down to Hiroshima, and then we came back up and we went to Tokyo and flew out of Japan. And that was about 5 weeks or so. And when we flew out of Japan, we flew to New Delhi, and India is crazy. And we intended to stay there for a while, but only stayed there for 20 days or something. We were going to be there for 2 months, I think, was the intention. But we were sick so much that we had to leave early. But we did make our way to a couple of pretty cool things inside of India. Where we went to Agra to see the Taj Mahal. And then we went to Varanasi, way over here. And it was like one of the craziest places I've ever been, and a couple of other smaller places in between. And eventually we got so sick, we just were like, we gotta get out of here. We took
The Great Escape happened.
Great Escape to Mumbai, through Mumbai, and then we went to Dubai, where we stayed just checking out the city a bit and just the modernity of it all, and eating Taco Bell and just recovering a bit.
It was Ramadan, so we had to eat our Taco Bell in the toilet. Well, that was burgers in the toilet. We ate our Taco Bell after dark.
And then we went to Abu Dhabi. We met an American couple who took us camping up in Oman in the Musa'dan Peninsula up here. That was amazing. We saw some birds doing the bird. And then we worked our way into Oman. And we stayed in Oman for maybe 2 weeks or so. And I wish we had stayed longer, but we ended up staying with a Brazilian family and their American friend. And it was a really amazing stay. We got to see the world through their eyes, and then also got to see amazing Oman. Oman is like a hidden gem. Saw like sea turtles laying eggs on the beach and stuff. It was like a highlight of my life. Very cool. And then we flew out of Oman to Alexandria in Egypt. And then we stayed there for a couple days. Really cool library, cool.
Oh, this is where scary elevators started happening.
Yeah, scary elevators entered our lives here. And then we worked our way to Cairo, just on a train, and stayed in Cairo for probably a week or so, and climbed up that the minaret of a mosque, and like the whole city lit up with sound with the call of prayer, and all these birds were all around us and everything, and it was like magical. And I ate that food. What was the food? Kushari, something like that. Kushari, something like that. Yes, that's good. It's so good. And we went to the pyramids, and then we worked our way down on crazy bus rides to Luxor, and went on the hot air balloon ride and over the Nile River. Thank you for the sub. You want to give him a squonk?
You give him a squonk.
Okay. Sitting here with my first cup of coffee. Enjoy it. Thank you for the sub. And we did the flight over the Nile River, and then we worked our way on a really long bus all the way up here to Dahab. And this is where, the bus ride down is where the fist fights happened and the guys rolled out on the street. But the ride this way, where the guys were just screaming at each other all night. We stayed in Dahab for just a couple of days and sort of rebuilt energy before we went up into Aqaba in the country of Jordan. And there the thing that sticks out to Aqaba is that taxi driver that gave us a ride without needing to. Like, we didn't have money and he gave us a ride. Just a guy being very kind to us really sticks out in my head. And we went up to the Wadi Musa area and went to Petra and like the building from like Indiana Jones.
We really did a good job that day.
Yeah,
we really did a good job of exploring that day.
And then we made our way up to Amman, and we really enjoyed just exploring Amman and having a lot of like local food and stuff, and just seeing the way the city looks and just catching the vibes and stuff. It was a cool place to explore.
I would go back there.
And then we made our way to Jerusalem, and that's what we were watching last week. So what we're going to be doing now is picking up the last bit of the time that we spent in Jerusalem. And we will also be going into the West Bank. We went to Bethlehem. And my memory of this is interesting. Mostly of seeing all the security and the security wall and going through the security wall to get back into Israel from the West Bank and just getting to experience it kind of at least seeing the infrastructure and stuff of what the Palestinian people were seeing that are going through that.
I still think we were treated probably differently.
Oh yeah, they saw our American passports and just waved us through, but we stood in line and watched what was happening. And like, I'm not saying that I like know what it's like, but it was a view most people don't have, because most people that go as tourists from Jerusalem into this area go on tour buses, and the bus doesn't go through the normal area. It just gets like checked at a different security checkpoint and waved through, basically. So anyways, we'll be watching the Jerusalem stuff today, and then we will be watching a video of us going from Jerusalem back to the United States. And that will be, we did go to Tel Aviv briefly, because I think that's where the airport was near.
We watched windsurfing.
We watched windsurfing. It was like the last thing we did.
Yeah. And it was weirdly perfect for the day. Yeah. I don't know. We watched the sunset and we knew it was the end. We'll probably see a video about it. Yeah. And then
we will be flying from Jerusalem to Madrid, I think is where we had a layover. And then from Madrid into the United States, where we come home. So that is the whole loop. Deep breath. I did it. Okay, let's get started with the first episode of the evening, which is, like I said, the third of 3 videos that we made about Jerusalem.
Did you hear the bonk?
You guys got a bonk, right? Just double checking.
Bonk.
I heard a bonk too. All right, here we go. So we're in Bethlehem, and we didn't have to go through a security checkpoint yet, so I'm really... Yeah, that was weird. When we went in, we took a taxi, I think, and I thought we were going to have to go through security or something, but like we just got, the taxi driver was like, okay, you're in Bethlehem now. And we got out and we were there. Like there was going in, I didn't notice.
Bethlehem's in the West Bank?
Yeah. You went there.
Yeah, probably understood that then, but now I'm just like, wow, it's totally in Israel. It's like close to Jerusalem.
It is close to Jerusalem.
But it's not in the area that I thought, okay. Or, yeah.
Really confused because apparently we were supposed to have done that, but the bus just kind of dropped us off.
Oh, it was a bus. Okay.
The driver showed up and like got up in our faces and wanted to give us rides, and we don't want a taxi ride, and we don't have a map, and it's kind of confusing at the moment. But I think that means we're in the West Bank because we're in Bethlehem, and I know it's in the West Bank, but it's kind of on the border, I think. I don't know. It's all really confusing. Like figuring out, like you saw the security wall on the way here, and it's in pieces. Like sections are built, sections are not, and it's all very just like disorienting. And this is kind of what it looks like. So, yeah.
We need to go strange.
Strange?
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody must have said that to you or something. Just to keep everybody in check, this is 2010 at this point. We didn't have a smartphone to like look at a map and be like, oh, we know exactly where we are. It was all just like, oh.
Gotta go and ask people.
So we're at the Church of the Nativity. I guess this is built where Jesus was supposedly born. And something that's like reoccurring theme is like, this is obviously like a Crusader era type of fellow. And he's slaying a dragon. And do Christians believe in dragons? Like, is this something that's like I see it a lot in the artwork and stuff, so I don't know. Somebody fill me in.
I still don't know.
It's kind of like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, as in it's just a bunch of people like not being in line and being rude to each other to get down here. And I think down here is where we're going to see where Jesus was apparently born. But I don't know. It's a big line, so I assume that's what it is. But it's just, a bunch of people not caring about each other, pushing each other around. It's great. So you can see all these people going through this little door. And I think this is a famous door. I think it mentioned it on Wikipedia, but I don't remember what it was called. And I don't know, if you want to come here and have any sort of relaxing vacation, it's not the place for you. So if you're coming here for a peaceful Jesus getaway, go someplace else.
Where is a peaceful Jesus getaway?
Where I don't know. Maybe.
Did he have any like
I think he was pretty local to that area. So
Sweet summer huts or something?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Little door there, and then bang.
What's dragon in those ark? She can fly, dude.
Saint George, who slays a dragon and is also the patron saint of England. Oh, okay, interesting. That's more information than I have.
I'm ignoring that because I'd just rather than be on the ark.
Maybe it's not worth it. But the inside of here, even though it's being restored, looks neat. All the columns and everything are pretty amazing. And you can see that the
I'm sure this looks a lot different now. Like, obviously, it was being restored then, so.
The rafters and everything are wooden. And I think those are from the 1800s. And I read on Wikipedia that if there's an earthquake of like a medium-sized magnitude, the whole building will collapse because the rafters are all rotted out. It's good to know. Okay, so like I said, the church is under construction, but you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like if you just imagine all these rafters aren't here. And the chandeliers are huge and like just kind of old and gothic looking almost. But we've been in this line way too long, and we're up to this point where there's these fellows here, and a bunch of these people have taken notes, writing a note on it, and then handing the note back to these guys and handing them money. So I don't know what that's all about, so I mean, whatever. Candles, some sort of water with a cross, and your commemorative Jesus DVD. Wow. Another group of old people with lots of fire and...
Lots of fire.
Aggressive than they were with the Holy Church of the Sepulchre, but still seems like a hazard of some sort, right?
Yeah, I don't remember this. My memory of this place is crowded, not chaotic, the way that it was at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
And down there, I suppose, is where there should be a marking on the ground where Jesus was supposedly born. Okay, so we made a little bit more progress. We're down these little set of stairs, and now we're standing on another set of stairs. And this is...
I'm just like live shooting this. Like, this is the kind of thing I feel like now, if we were filming this, we would probably film a bunch of B-roll and then talk about it afterwards. But I think this is such a better way of doing it. But it depends.
Calm down, Doza.
Yeah, Doza's my business.
I'm just gonna fall on the floor.
Donk. Put him here.
It's a grotto.
It's like a sauna in here.
It's really hot, yeah. And the head clearance isn't good enough. And all of the guides from all of the tour groups just being obnoxious, pushing people around. It's amazing. So this is it, apparently, this little hole down here.
Be careful, be careful. One by one, not 5 by 5, please, one by one.
1 by 1, not 5 by 5.
What did she?
This is $100 each.
What?
I'm just saying what the guy's saying.
He said it's $100 each?
Something is $100 each.
What's he talking about? Hold on.
1 by 1, not 5 by 5, please, 1 by 1. This is $100 each, problem for fathers. Not 5, 1. Why you...
This guy is a dick. He's been yelling at everybody, and it's not in his group. He's just crazy. He's a group leader. Anyways, so in there is...
Last week they closed it 2 hours because one of them broke the oil lamp.
One of them, they were here last week? Yes. Those people?
No.
Right.
I got snotty with the guy. You've been pissing me off that much. I actually said something that's really rare.
Yeah.
I like giving these people a tough time. Oh boy, but you can barely see this little star down there. When she gets out of that little hole, blood out, there it is. Weird. I believe this is where Mary placed Jesus after he was born. It's like a manger or whatever, but it's not here anymore because, you know, it's 2,000 years ago. And it's got this little area back here, and that's about it. That was a pretty big waste of time.
I'm so glad we went down there and saw it. It's just like to know it's a waste of time is fun information. I only kind of remember this. I don't remember much of...
I have a surprisingly strong memory of this.
Like this guy yelling at everybody, he doesn't work here. He's just a tour guide. Like he's got a group of people from the UK with him, and that's it. he just hollers at everybody. Hollers at these Russians. They don't speak English. Hollers at us. Tells us what to do. I don't know. But there we go. Anyway, that's where Jesus was apparently born. Is to be.
You I'm just done with it all.
So you just saw where Jesus Christ was born. How do you feel?
I have nothing to say about it, honestly. I mean, I saw a star on the floor in a creepy, sweaty cave with a whole bunch of people yelling and a whole bunch of people upset, and people had waited in a line for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
We did. I really just wanted to turn to everybody and go, this is where you really think it happened? Like, this magical spot was where it happened? I just don't get it. I don't know. And this is the way you want to treat this spot?
This thing?
This is how you want to enjoy this spot?
Yeah. What I always, like, I think about when I see this, or I think about these things, we've been to so many places that are, like, very important to different groups of people for, like, religious reasons or cultural reasons or whatever. And, like, there's not very many of them that are true. Like, it's like the behavior is just bananas compared to what you see. I mean, maybe like the Forbidden City in China, we saw people like peeing on the walls inside and stuff. It was a kind of like the same thing, but that was like disrespectful
really
to the
crowded
place.
And kind of shovey.
Yeah. So I mean,
but
maybe
not
like
to
that.
this degree.
But yeah, it's just there's something, and this is to me more like, obviously holy is the word I'd choose, but more holy than like something like the Forbidden Palace, which is more of like a cultural thing. Like this feels like it has more weight to it, but it could just because I'm a Westerner. But I don't know. It's peculiar. Even when we were in like Varanasi and stuff, there wasn't this level of like crazy shit.
A little entitlement.
Yeah. I think that's how we talked about it when we were there, probably off camera.
Church that's attached to the area where Jesus was born. It's like a church on a church in a church with a church wrapped around it. Yada, yada, yada. But anyway, the church itself is kind of cool looking. The ceiling is nice. The stained glass work down there is really cool. And it's not sweaty and hot, and there's nobody yelling at me. So this is an improvement. Here's an interesting note. Like I said, the rafter section inside of the church is all like old, like 150, 200 years old. And it's rotting, and they're worried that it's going to collapse. And that was like as of a year ago, or a year and a half ago that I read that's how old the documentation I had was. And as you can see inside now, they've got all the construction going on.
It's King of Jordan?
There's a sign out here that says that the renovation is being done with a donation from the President of Palestine.
Oh, President of Palestine.
Interesting show of goodwill. So this sign, like the church that we were just in, is right here, and this sign is here, and the tourist information is here. But this sign is kind of it's almost propaganda the way it's written, but it's kind of factual at the same time. I mean, some of the things they say are trying to elicit a response, but I mean, some of it's true. It's about the occupation, however you want to say, of Israel. The Israelis have taken over Palestine. And for instance, like this is 1946, green is Palestine, white is Israel, and they're Jewish territory. And as you can see, it starts to flip, and all of a sudden there's very little green and a lot of white. What I find interesting is that like
those colors are further changing.
Yeah. I'd like to point out to everybody that might be watching, we are not watching this because of the situation that's going on right now. This is coincidental. We could never have predicted that this would be what we'd be watching during this time. It just happens to be a coincidence.
You didn't put any gambles on that? You got nothing on the...
I don't know if it would have been that high stakes of a gamble. There's going to be a war in the Middle East. Like, it's going to happen eventually, but anyways.
Oh, there's the Bethlehem.
You go to like places like the Arabian Peninsula and stuff, or like Syria, they like refuse to exist that Israel they refuse to admit that Israel even exists. I mean, I talked to people in Egypt, and they call this area Palestine, like it is not Israel. But on this map in the West Bank, they actually write Israel on it. So it's almost like the people that are actually involved that should be offended are coming to terms or have come to terms with the fact that, look, Israel...
Or they're talking to you in a political light so that they can make political ground. You're not... If you just spit what the whole world doesn't believe, no one takes you seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether you like it or not. And the people who are on the peripheral and aren't really actually actively involved are the ones that are in denial. It's interesting. So I'm not sure, like, this keeps happening to us. We keep running into people that we've seen like a long time ago. Like, there was a Japanese guy that I kept seeing in Jordan over and over. And then one of the people that we went to the Dead Sea with.
Did you see somebody stick their head out on the top? Yeah, that was weird, right? What was that? Hold on.
In Jordan over and over. And then...
There it is.
There he is.
What's going on there?
One of the people that we went to the Dead Sea with, and then we went to, what was the name of that? Jerash?
Yeah.
And we went to Jerash with him the next day, and then we never saw him again. We just ran into him here in Jerusalem, which is in another country. So it's just strange. We keep running into the same people over and over. It's cool to see them, though. If you're ever curious to know what a Palestinian license plate looks like.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
It's got a P.
They got these stretched, like...
This is stuck in my head forever.
So I realized that this is only one city in the West Bank, but it's pretty modern. I mean, one area was like a souk, just like you'd expect in any other Arabian country. And the rest of it is, I mean, kind of clean and nice. And I mean, it's a lot nicer than India. I mean, I can tell you that. So it's
Still
interesting to see. You see like nice cars, you see,
India.
like Mercedes, and you see like televisions and stuff. It's not like the whole place is super really like impoverished or anything.
There's no P in Arabic.
The
Got
language.
you good. Got you good.
What? What are you talking
Was
about?
there really a P on the license plate?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I'm sure that...
I thought the squiggle on the right, I saw the squiggle, and I thought that you were describing the squiggle, and that this person was like, nah. But there was a P?
There was
like
definitely a P on the
P?
license plate, yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Like you might have in your head. I know that sounds really ignorant, but I had no idea what to expect when we came over here because, I mean, it's hard to read through the lines of Western media, so what do you actually get to see? So I'm glad we came just to see at least one little portion of what the West Bank is, even if it's not a representation of the entire place.
I'd been looking forward to going into the West Bank for a really long time before we went. And I kind of wish we had spent more time there, to be honest, but we just didn't have adjustable time and stuff.
Okay, so here is a piece of the security wall that separates the West Bank from Israel. And as you can see, we are on the West Bank side, and it is...
Steve, thank you for the sub.
Ooh.
You gotta tie it up.
very, very, very vandalized, which is completely okay in my book because, I mean, the wall is illegal. How can it be illegal to vandalize a wall that's not allowed to be here? And by that, I mean, the UN has deemed this wall can't exist. Like, they're building a prison for the Palestinians. I mean, I know that the situation is really complex, but this wall is bullshit. Like, I mean, you can't cage people in like this. This is ridiculous. And so, I mean, you know, if the UN says the wall shouldn't be here, how is it wrong to vandalize a wall that can't be here? But there's some famous artwork on here, and we may not be able to find it because I really don't know where it's at, but we're going to walk along it a bit and see if we can find it. If I can find it, there's going to be more video. But you see things like this, where somebody has painted a zipper with children or people pulling the zipper apart, and it's basically pulling the wall apart. And that is supposedly the ocean, and that's a flag that is similar to places like Jordan and Iraq.
Palestinian flag, I think.
Palestinian flag, perhaps? I'm not 100% certain. But as you can see, it's huge, and I've read in some places it is twice the size of the Berlin Wall, like height-wise. And it's not completed yet, but it's going to be like astronomically long when it's finished. And it's complex the way it goes. It like cuts through people's like farmland and stuff, and cuts them off from the city in other ways. And like they just plow right. They take this road, this giant wall, and just put it through people's land, and with like really no regard. I mean, who cares? to them where they put it, because whatever. And it's really disruptive. It takes up a lot of space, and it is really ugly. And I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of depressing to see that people are trying to build something like this. But let's look and see if we can find any interesting art. As we come along, this is a Israeli security tower, and as you can see, the camera faces into the West Bank.
It just looks like a prison, man. Mm. These paintings, there's photos of like different countries, and I don't remember why they're there. If it's like people in solidarity against the wall or something, I can't remember. But I remember looking at it being like, oh, we've been there, we've been there, we've been there, we've been there. Like I remember seeing a whole bunch of things. It was an interesting. This is interesting to see.
So we are walking around the security wall that Israel has put up between them and Palestine. And there's tons of graffiti, but the one thing that I wanted to show is that, as you can see in this corner, the wall goes around like this. On the other side of the building, it goes around further like that. They have built the wall to go around this house. It's very strange, and I mean, I guess I just figured they're putting up a wall, they could demolish a house while they're at it, but instead they built it around it. It's a little strange.
Okay, so this is
what I was saying.
the side of the wall, and as you can see, it doesn't have any graffiti on it or anything, and there's no cameras pointing this direction, and the top of the fence is slanted the way, so if you wanted to climb over from here, you could, but it would be a hell of a fall. So it's obvious that the security is for keeping people out of the other side into here, not out of this side into there. And we just went through the inspection, like the security checkpoint, and it really feels like you're cattle or something. Like, you want to explain? Like,
the way that they've built the structure basically feels like it feels messed up to say this, but it feels kind of like concentration camps. Like there's a designated path, and you're not going off the designated path, and
it's kind of confusing.
The way that they've built the structure, you can see out, but you can't go out. Like that kind of feeling. And you basically go in, and they have these like turnstiles that they can turn on and off to let people in or not let people in. So you have to sit there and wait for them to turn on the green light for you to go through the turnstile. And everything just looks highly militarized and just highly secured. It's a little weird.
Yeah, and I mean, the turnstiles are like, it's like a revolving door at like the front of a nice like hotel, but it's like bars, like a jail cell. Like that, it functions like a revolving door, but it's like bars. And some people have to scan their hand, like a handprint scan, to get in to this side. But they didn't care with us. We just showed them our American passport. And okay, go through. I mean, it was no big deal, but you could tell, like, for the Palestinians, it's a pain. And I mean, I can imagine, like, that gets really, the line gets amazingly long sometimes. You can just see the way it's constructed. I bet there's hours wait sometimes for certain times to get across, which is, I don't know, it's weird. It's really strange. So that's an interesting part of this adventure we've been on, that's for sure. I'm not sure on the physical, like, practicalities. Like, if you're a Palestinian and you live in the West Bank and you want to come into Jerusalem, I think you have to have a Jerusalem ID card, and then that gets you into, like, the city. And I'm not sure if you're allowed to travel throughout Israel once you do that, or if not. So I know there's some Palestinians that kind of live in spots all over the country, but it's really confusing to try to figure all this out, like what the actual restrictions on the day-to-day basis for certain people are. But I saw the guy in front of us had a Palestinian ID, like looks like a passport sort of, and he also had another card that he held up for the lady, and I think that's his Jerusalem ID. But again, I don't know. It's crazy to think that some people, I think, are in the West Bank and they can't get out, like they stuck there. So if they want to leave, I think they can go into Jordan, but I have no idea how difficult that is or what that actually entails. So it's really weird. It's like, it really is like they've built an open air prison.
I want to fill in a little bit more about this from my memory. Loader One, thank you for the $10. I will not weasel out. Yeah, can you get the one out of the streaming backpack? Yeah. We will not weasel out of the cube. We will get the cube. So of course, when you go through the security checkpoint, you can't take pictures or anything. You can't use a camera. So we obviously don't have any footage like in that manner. But what I remember is that there is like a corralling system set up inside so they can move people into certain like areas by opening a series of gates with an electronic button, and the gate like turning like the door like at a nice hotel thing, but it's like bars, like rounded off big thick bars like this that come off of this big thing in the, like this pedestal thing in the middle that turns. And everything, as you're walking through everything, it's like those bars higher than anybody could reach, going up and down, like keeping people inside of this like corral area, and they can let people in groups through this mechanism that they've constructed. And I remember it being, for us, like I said, when we just showed our passport, they were just like, whatever, just go. But I remember there being like people arguing with the people at the, like there was heated conversation happening between people that were having to go through this process to get into the Israeli side. So these Palestinian people would have to like bicker with these people, and we couldn't understand the language or anything, but it was obvious it wasn't like just like a formality, show your paperwork and go. There was more to it for some of these people. And I also remember, like I said, most tourists do not see this happen because they come in on these tour buses with their tour group, and then the tour group gets on the bus, and the bus, I remember seeing near the gate, there'd be like some buses lined up, and the security people would come onto the bus. So like they're just like going through and going, okay, tourist, okay, go. And maybe checking like the bus to make sure there's not like weapons or anything like that. But most tourists, like we just walked out of the West Bank the same way that any like Palestinian going over the border would do at that time anyways. Who knows if it's the same now or it's different or whatever. But it was like really fucked up. Do you remember anything else about the experience?
Anything else about? I actually thought that was pretty well documented. I remember some of the photos that we took along the security wall of the graffiti, which those will probably be included in the photos that we discuss later. But nothing else really stands out more than what we've already discussed.
By the way, yeah, the loaner one, hey, thank you for the $10. I'm going to count out a cube. Really, oh no, that's not the right place to put that. What did I do wrong? Oh no, it's all over. It's not over anymore. So now you gotta keep everybody entertained while I do the cube.
Oh, you mean Dozo needs to keep them entertained? Yeah, that looks good.
I don't think he's got this much squonk in him.
Apparently, it doesn't register these eyeballs. Like, I mean, they're the most prominent eyeballs in the room.
Contact Sony and be like,
how come I can't see my cock? It doesn't register my cock. Shit's very human-esque. I'm not yellow. That doesn't sound right.
This is the part I always forget. Yeah, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
That was really good.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the $10. I didn't weasel out of anything.
Man, I'm more tired today than normal.
All right, let's get back into it.
So it's Friday, it's 3 o'clock, so it's
again
Via Della Rosa way more crowded than normal because some friars are going to be doing their Friday 3 p.m. hauling of the cross along the Via Dolorosa, so that's got a whole bunch of people at the side of the road, and I'm just really hungry. I want to go get some food, but I'm stuck in this crowd, so that's a bummer. And I guess across...
Earliest bird is coming here?
Yeah, coming looking for burbs.
Wow.
Yeah, check them all off the list,
I
man.
think I did know that already, but I didn't know it was coming up so soon.
Is going to come around the corner in a minute. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So the group of people...
Look at how many people.
...along the Via Dolorosa have come in contact with a bunch of massive tour groups.
Seems like you guys were indifferent on visiting these religious sites and had poor experiences. Why did you decide to... Oh, because they're interesting places. Like, you don't have to have...
We didn't know. They're interesting places. They're cultural places. There's places that like, people are going to ask you, oh, you went there? Did you go to that place? Yes, we went to that place. We didn't necessarily know they were going to be difficult or uncomfortable or outrageous in some cases. We just went with no expectation for how the tourism factor was going to be treated. Yeah. And thus, we saw firsthand how tourism gets treated there. Poor experiences, I wouldn't label it as poor. I would just call them experiences. Yeah. Some of them more funny than others. Some of them a little bit enraging. Like, really? We treat people like that? That's terrible. Why did you decide to attend them in the first place? Because that's what you do when you're in that area.
Yeah. I don't think about them as poor experiences. I know we might be coming up. You also have to keep in mind, like, where we were mentally at this point. Like, we've been traveling for a year and a half. There's some exhaustion in us at this point. Like, we were tired. Like, we'd been moving constantly for a year and a half, not being inside of anything that we knew or understood.
Yeah, like
everything was different every day. Food is always different. Everything you do is always different. It starts to change the way
I hadn't cooked myself a meal in months upon months. I hadn't just laid in a bed that I called my own, like, with my things that made me feel normal forever. And
I don't mean to, like, I'm not trying to complain about this, like, experience, because the experience that we had and the opportunity that we had to do this whole trip was incredible. But there's an impact on you. So I think that maybe if we went and it had been in these experiences in a different mindset, it's possible we would not come off so, like, I don't know, like they say we're coming off bitchy, but unfiltered perhaps would be the way. Like, at this point we just weren't being careful about things like the way we were speaking or whatever. And again, it also goes back to, like, we didn't have an audience that we were talking to. We were talking to our friends or our future selves. So just, like, context a little bit on that. But I don't think of any of these as, like, shitty experiences. Shitty experiences are like if you get hurt or you get robbed or something, and that kind of thing never really happened. Getting sick is a shitty experience. This was
just a view into what people are willing to put up with.
Yeah, basically. I'm a lot bigger than everyone. And I fucked up again. I always do this. I forget to flip the thing back. It's too many buttons.
How long did that go on?
Not long. Since the last time I unpaused it.
Oh, okay.
I'll back it up.
Contact with a bunch of massive tour groups, and they're all going the opposite direction of each other. So, watching this disaster, I swear, this place is crazy. I just want a shawarma. As a side note, as I'm standing here in this toy store along the Via Dolorosa, we're trying to carry a cross tie. And all these tour groups are fighting with the whole situation, and there's people yelling at each other, and the typical thing that's been going on here for us in Jerusalem. You can also buy in this toy store plastic machine guns and stuff. So, you know, that's nice to know. So if you're curious as to what they're selling along these oh-so-holy paths, stuff like this, and of course, gummy worms. Look at this mess. I decided to just try to get through, so I just got right behind some of the local Palestinian youth who are pushing their way through. This is ridiculous. This doesn't need to be happening.
Can you imagine living in this and having to deal with this all the time? Holy shit. we used to be like, a saksa is too much. It's nothing.
Yeah, true.
And I'm through. So my desire for shawarma has outweighed my desire to see people carrying it across in a huge crowd. So you're not going to get any footage of it. Bummer. But hey, look at this. Palestinian midget. How often do you see that?
Shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That might have topped some of the shit there.
Yeah, that was probably that was over the line.
I forget all the other shits, but that was a shit.
That was one of the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've acquired my shawarma, and now it's been 5 minutes, maybe, since I was through here, and that huge crowd was here, and they're gone. So they probably moved their way on down to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and they're doing their thing there. And I hope they take all their fighting and pushing and yelling with them. Let's see if we can find some bananas.
Bananas?
Staying at Jerusalem. There's this painting on the wall. Like, we sit here to use the internet, and you have to stare at this painting, and nothing's wrong is really going on. It's just kind of creepy. Like, you got this bear.
We talked about the bear a lot.
Just this circle around the eye really just pushes it over the line. There's this girl like sleeping, and you can see her legs, and I don't know. And then there's this big black blob, and it took me a long time of staring at it to realize, wait, that's a map. Like, I know that sounds really dumb, but like, this is Egypt and Israel and Jordan and what fourth? So
it's Iraq, dumbass.
And what fourth?
Yeah, no, it means the liberty. Yeah, we talked about that last time. Thank you.
I have no idea what this says, so I should ask somebody. But people that work here are kind of obnoxious, so I don't really want to talk to them. But that's the epic journey of that painting. Okay, so it's Friday, and it is in the evening. It is just past 7 o'clock now, and that means it's Sabbath here, and, well, everywhere, I guess, wherever it's past 7 o'clock. 6:59 it starts, and that means that for the next 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours, but the next day, that it's like the Jewish day of rest, and that means they don't go to work, and they don't do anything. They don't, like, turn on and off light switches or something. I'm not sure how strictly adhered to that is, but I think that's kind of like for the hardcore people, that's actually what they do. So the place to be for this event every week is at the Western Wall, obviously. And so I went down there, and it's packed. Like, there's tons and tons and tons of people. And I got a little bit of covert video footage, so I'll put that in here. And it is the joyous feeling. Like, people are like in big groups, like jumping up and down and singing, and they are doing their prayers and stuff like that. But it's not, people aren't fighting and pushing each other around, so it's a little bit different than certain other faiths that I've seen lately. But I mean, on the other hand, a lot of these people are locals, so you know, they all have the same set of like understanding on how people move around and things. And I think that's kind of what makes the Christian stuff difficult. It's a lot of people from all over the world you put into one place, and lines don't work the same for everybody, so things just start to get weird. So I mean, I know I make fun of it a lot, but I think that logically that's really part of the reason. But like I said, here they're locals, so it's a lot more peaceful. It seems really joyous. Something that's odd is on the women's side, a lot of people walk out backwards, like facing the wall. They'll walk backwards to get out of the prayer area. And the men, a couple of them do it, but a majority just walk out. So I'm not sure if it's something that's expected of women, or women are just a little bit more adhering to the rules. I don't know exactly what's up. Also, while I was down there, I read some plaques. I actually figured out a little more detail on what the Temple Mount actually is for Jewish people. The rock that's inside of the Dome of the Rock, where Muhammad was supposedly ascended to heaven for Islam, is like the center of the universe, or center of the known world, or whatever for Jewish people. So it's like where Adam came into creation, and where I think Abraham had to give it, like that's where he put his son up for sacrifice or something. Like, I don't know the details, but I know that it's something like that. I think it's the same place. So it's like where life begins, or life began, was this one spot. So that's why it's so holy for them. And of course, the western wall is a retaining wall of the second temple that was built on this spot because of that. So it's really interesting that like exactly in the same place, Islam and Judaism both have got like this massive, like one of the most religious places, one of the most important places to both religions are in the same spot. You gotta wonder like what kind of translation error had to be made on one side or the other to make that spot so important to two different sects of people for two sort of different reasons. Another thing that's interesting about the Western Wall is it was where Muhammad tied his winged horse, I believe, before he passed. But I'm not 100% sure on that. That's just kind of what I put together on reading plaques around here. I am no theology major. But it was pretty interesting just to stand and watch and see these people do this. And now I am kind of up in the little corner of the Jewish quarter, and the Western Wall is right there. And you can see the Dome of the Rock right there. Of course, this is the Dome of the Rock signifies where the temple actually would have sat. This area that it is in would have been kind of where the first and second temple for the Jews was built. But I don't have a whole lot else to do, and everything is closed on this side of town, so if I want to do anything at all, I'm going to have to walk into the Muslim quarter. But there's not a whole lot over there open either because it's so late, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll just hang out. Something interesting about like Jerusalem is you hear a lot of American accents on people who look like locals. Like they look like Jewish, like locals, like the beard and the dress and everything, but they are straight up Americans. And it seems like a lot of them are American, like a large percentage of people that I hear talking. Didn't expect that, but I guess America's got a massive population, so clearly there's got to be a lot of Jewish people there, and I guess a lot of Jewish people come to Israel, so you put it all together, it makes sense. To give you an idea of the prices that are just like, I mean, this is stupid. Like, in the old city, I want to get a shawarma sandwich, right? Because, I mean, that's all there is to eat around here. And they want 35 shekels, and I get the exact same thing, a 5-minute walk outside of Damascus Gate. Like, it's 5 minutes from there to where I want to go, as long as there's no processions of people carrying crosses. And it's 5 minutes, and it's 15 shekels. So, like, I mean, they just put you over a barrel in here. So, like, I mean, I guess I'll walk the 5 minutes, whatever. But they just know there's all these tourists, so they can just charge whatever the hell they want. So that's just kind of what like, when we say it's like Disneyland in here, that's kind of what we mean. It's like religious Disneyland. Everything's like ridiculously priced, and there's like trinkets and stuff everywhere. Like, I'm just waiting for, like, you know, the Mickey Mouse ears. Like, I mean, somebody's gonna sell like a goofy looking crown of thorns or something. I'm waiting to see something like that. I know it exists in here. I just haven't found it yet. Every single night in Jerusalem, this tractor pulling this big trailer with these guys comes through here, and it's like trash brigade. It cleans up the city because everybody just sort of throws their stuff on the ground. Like you can see this big pile. Like they just throw their stuff out there, and then those guys come along and pick it up. Not sure if anybody has to pay a fee or if it's just included with taxes with the government and all that, but it's really nice because if they didn't do it, it would be a complete disaster in here. So we've hit day like 5, maybe 6 in Jerusalem, and we're really bored. Like, our flight leaves on the 22nd. It is the 16th, and like we really don't have a whole lot to do. There's a million things to see, but not really anything like to do, and that's kind of what we like to do. We like to go do things. So like to go outside of Jerusalem and go someplace else in the country is possible. You can day trip to almost any point of the country because it's so small and the bus system is so good, but it's really expensive to go anywhere. So I mean, we could spend like $50 or $60 a day per person to just go out to go to like a national park and go hiking or something.
That sounds so cheap to me now, but at the time we were not living in that world. Like, our world was much cheaper.
So that's a bit of a bummer, but we might end up doing it. I don't know. And we've heard Tel Aviv isn't all that much more exciting, so we don't want to spend a tremendous amount of time there either. So I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I'm sure.
And we were in this weird limbo where typically during the rest of the trip, we just would have been like, okay, let's go someplace else. And we just would have gone someplace else. But it was like.
But having that deadline.
Yeah.
Deadline's not the right. Having that date
that date
set.
set. Yeah, made it so
things.
we just were kind of like, we're here. Like,
It's going to have a lot to do with sitting in a lounge and using the internet for a bit because we have that access for free. Yesterday we went to the Holocaust Museum. What's it called for real? Oh, she's chewing.
Yad Vashem.
Yad Vashem. And it
was
was really good.
Yeah, I remember this being very, very amazing. Like really heavy, obviously, but very well done. I remember it being really well done.
It was laid out relatively well. It was a little crowded, but everything was explained well. And they have like, as you go through, they've got videos of Holocaust survivors.
That view has a lot more meaning to it now than it did then.
To you?
First person, what they had gone through and stuff, and it was just...
And you see me, I'm sitting there and I'm really like pondering it, but yeah. I even just having more time, more context, more length of knowledge, I don't know how that translates. It has way more impact now.
Very captivating and really striking to see it. It was my favorite part easily of the whole place. And it wasn't like laid out as a big memorial, which I'm glad about that. I'm glad it was more of a museum, more of like, hey, this is what happened thing, rather than a listing of names constantly over and over. They did have a bit of that, but it wasn't like tacky or obnoxious or anything. So it was a good education and everything in that manner. So it is really nice out. It's like springtime here, so at least it doesn't suck to just wander around the neighborhoods, which is probably what I'm about to go do.
The thing that Katie was sitting at, so I'm surprised we didn't talk about exactly what that was. Let me back it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't.
So when you go through the museum, again, it's like very quote unquote educational, like, and explains like what happened with the Holocaust and all of that. And I'm trying to find in the timeline. Give me the mouse. There we go. Where Katie is sitting. So like you go through all this like really dark stuff about the Holocaust, obviously, and like explaining what it was, and then explaining.
And not only like dark in that you're talking about a dark subject, but a lot of the rooms were like
they were dark,
dimly lit,
and stuff. Yeah, but lots of information and things to help you understand what people were put through. And then when you walk out of the very end, it's this overlook to Israel, which is like symbolic, like very symbolic.
Like and we went through all that and we've made it to the motherland.
Yeah, so we've made
it to our land.
Yeah, you're in this dark area, and just like then suddenly it's like this is land, this is outside, this is light. It puts you through this like emotional roller coaster kind of that is kind of poetic.
As you go through, and really striking. Like, hey, this is what happened. They're installing. So at least it doesn't suck to just wander around the neighborhoods, which is probably what I'm about to go do. So I was talking about the train system that they're installing. These are apparently the cars. Like, it must be pretty close to completion, or at least pieces of it. I know there's gonna be different lines and stuff, but I mean, if they've laid the cars down on the tracks, you think they're getting ready to turn it on pretty quick. So I've just gotten done walking through the core of a Jewish neighborhood in Jerusalem on Sabbath, and it's weird. It's like a ghost town. Like, everything is shut down. There was an ambulance that's parked in the middle of the road with nobody in it, and there's no cars on the streets. There are all the traffic lights are either just turned off or blinking. All of the ATMs you walk by say out of service. I mean, everything is shut down. Like, seriously shut down.
Yeah, you weren't with me this day.
Yeah.
I feel like I felt unwelcome when I was in that neighborhood. I feel like people were looking at me like,
you're not... Maybe outsiders shouldn't be there during that time because it causes more disruption in their Sabbath.
Maybe. I don't know.
And I'm kind of on the outskirts of it now. So there are some cars going by a little bit.
I mean, it wasn't exactly partying. There were people like walking around and being outside and stuff, but I don't quite remember. I remember feeling uncomfortable about something.
But like, I mean, the roads are barricaded, like, and there's just people wandering down through the streets, and everybody's in their, like, you know, Saturday best. So they're all dressed up really nicely and probably going to, like, you know, family occasions or synagogue or whatever it is that Jewish people do on this day. And I mean, I looked really strange in this atmosphere because everybody's dressed in like, their black suits and their hats and everything, and I'm walking along looking like, how I've looked for 14 months. And I mean, people are they're either looking at me like completely confused that I'm there, or with a little bit of like disdain. It's hard to tell like if they're upset with my presence or not, or I'm not supposed to be there or something. But I mean, there's no sign or anything. I mean, I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody. So I mean, if they don't want me there, well, then tough, I was there. That's just how it is. But yeah.
I wasn't filming or anything either. You know what I mean?
True,
like I wasn't
true.
doing any, I don't really think I took any pictures.
A bit odd. And there's like, I was walking down the sidewalk. This like 10-year-old kid literally crossed the street so he didn't have to come near me, because I mean, I think he was afraid of me. I mean, I guess.
Maybe you look Palestinian.
I think I look Palestinian.
You look different and therefore might be.
I look, yeah.
10-year-old, I suppose.
I mean, I'm also 6'7", and that 10-year-old. Sometimes kids are afraid of me. Let's be honest.
Okay, so it's the 16th of October, and so we're sitting around, and like the last couple of days, we're just like looking at the things that we have left to do in Israel and the amount of time we have, because our flight is booked for the 22nd. And we're just like, we have a lot of time to do a whole lot of nothing, because like if we want to do anything outside of Jerusalem, it gets really, really expensive. So like we're just like, what are we gonna do? And we're like envisioning just sitting. We don't even have our private room. We have a dorm, and you have to sit in this like little common area to use the internet. And there's these kids, and they're obnoxious, and it's just boring. And like we've been saying, there's not a lot to do, but there is a lot to see. But we've seen it all. So we were like, well, maybe we can move our flight. So Katie looks on the flight information or whatever, and she ends up calling the airline or the booking company. And they were like, yeah, you can move your flight to the, what date is it?
2 days ago.
To the 18th. Which is
Pause. I pretended to be my mom the whole time.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
I thought that they might not let me do it, so I just pretended to be my mom.
The thing was is that your mom gave us flight tickets home by paying with
Air
miles or whatever, like from your dad's company. Basically.
Well, I don't know where those air miles came from at that time. That could
But
have
anyway,
been,
air miles.
Yeah, air miles.
So it was all like under her name and stuff, even though our names were on the tickets.
Yeah. So I thought if I called and just told them I was me, they'd be like, well, you'd have to call and talk to your mom. And we were trying, or I was trying, I don't know if you cared, but I was trying to surprise my mom. So therefore I didn't want her to know about it. So I had to like change emails and shit within the whole system.
You knew her passwords and stuff, I think, too.
days from now, and it's in Tel Aviv. And it means it leaves at 5 a.m. So that means that basically like 2 hours ago, we decided we're gonna leave tomorrow. So, and by leave, I mean go back to the States. So we were able to make this change, and we told them not to email, like the email was supposed to go to Katie's mom because it was originally like done under her account. So we told them not to email them, just email us. So
Maybe you didn't.
What do you mean?
Maybe you didn't tell them that you were your mom. There's an earthquake. There's an earthquake right now.
Pretty abrupt.
I think it's over.
But wow.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was
it's like
a
shock.
weird one.
If you told them not to email your mom, then you probably told them that you were not your mom.
But it could just be us saying it in a way that is, don't email them, email me, but we're not explaining that I was lying. Like, I know I lied in that time. And told them not to email my mom. Like, changed the emails.
Oh.
I guess it's possible I called and was myself. I'm not sure, but I really would... Yeah.
the email only went to us, and we're going to have our friend Jesse pick us up at the airport, and then we'll be able to go down and we'll be able to surprise Katie's parents, because they don't think we're going to be home until Friday, but in fact we'll be home on a Monday. So it'll be pretty cool, and I think Katie's pretty excited. And as long as an email doesn't show up in her mom's email somehow, I don't think they will suspect a thing, so it should be pretty funny. So we will see how it is. And so I mean, we're going home 4 days early, but you know, it's been 400 and some change, so I think we're all right. Yeah, what do you think?
I'm excited. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
You excited for one more shawarma?
No, I don't want any more shawarma.
Yeah, you were so tired of it.
I don't even remember that.
I was still eating. I was like, it was good. But I remember you being like, God damn it.
Shawarma. Yeah, it was literally all we could let ourselves afford at the time.
Want some more hummus?
No, I don't want any more hummus.
We're a bit tired of Middle Eastern food.
I want mashed potatoes and turkey. That's all I want. Gravy. Don't forget the gravy.
It's a jam, man. Sounds like Streetlight Manifesto.
Jerusalem's a bit of like a mixed bag. Like you love it or you hate it, or like me, you love it at nighttime and hate it during the day. It's really a cool city, especially the old city, to walk around during like the night, and it's just quiet and it's amazing looking. And there's the tour groups, and then in the daytime it's as hectic and obnoxious, and there's tour groups. So if you're going to enjoy the city, it's best to do it, I think, when there's nobody else out.
Yeah, maybe it's not Streetlight Manifesto. It's Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution.
This one's for anybody who has ever worked at Infinity before.
Oh, God.
He's in Jerusalem.
It's a company that I work with that used to work. My company worked with that company. I guess it's a chain, but it's not a good phrase for anybody that ever had to deal with it where I worked. Did you figure out how much earthquake we had?
I'm just updating the page and nothing's happening. The only one.
Sometimes it takes it a few minutes.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes, and there was one today at 3:00, but.
I felt like a car hit the house or something.
9:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was in Tokyo.
But Shindo is only a 2.
Yeah, Shindo was a 2. Magnitude, what you guys
4.4.
might understand, is a 4.4, and
it was just a weird shock.
Yeah, it was just like a shift.
It was in Kanagawa.
Kanagawa. Okay.
But that's close enough to us to definitely be a shock we'd feel.
And it's saying that we're in the 2 zone. Interesting.
So this is a big group of Asian people in Israel singing, I'm assuming, some sort of religious stuff, but I have no idea why this is happening. I can't even tell what language they're singing. It might be English, I don't know. This lady is real into this. She is getting down. She was doing some spins a minute ago. Let's hope for a spin. Oh, I see a spin coming up. She's getting ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come on. There it goes. Oh, there it is. That's the stuff. That's it. Oh, that was good.
This is your first time ever seeing a lot of this stuff, isn't it?
No. I remember the spins.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there, but you have shown me the spins. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
They have skunks here. There's a dead one somewhere near us.
All right. Last episode of the Round the World trip. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
When we last left off, Eric and I had reached max boredom in Jerusalem. There's a certain amount of stuff to do, and I think we managed to do a whole bunch of it. And thankfully to my mom, she had managed to get us tickets in their business class flight all the way back home, which is amazing. But since we were so bored, I decided, you know, we gotta call and find out if we can get this ticket moved up. Like, we can't stay here for another 6 days and basically just waste money waiting. So I called, and surprisingly, they were able to get us on a flight 2 days later, which meant from Jerusalem, we would have to travel the next day to Tel Aviv, hang out in Tel Aviv for a few hours, go to the airport, stay the night at the airport to get on our 5 a.m. flight. So we managed to do all that, and we were pretty excited about surprising my parents once we got home.
She saw a lazy bear sneaking up on you?
Where's the lazy bear? M-I-A. We had him.
I'm worried.
And we lost him. And we're only like temporarily worried at times.
Who are the Dufresnes? Why is nobody worried about the Dufresnes?
Why is no one worried about the lazy bear? He seems to have gotten lost.
Okay, so it's 7:30 in the morning on the, I don't know what day it is, hold on. It is Sunday.
The 17th.
And our plane leaves at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have to be at the airport at like 2 a.m. because the security in Israel is really tight on the airlines. So we have to be there like super early. So basically, we're in Jerusalem. We're going to go to Tel Aviv today and just kind of like look around with our bags on, which sucks, but whatever. We'll probably just end up finding some place on the beach and hanging out.
I remember getting there being a pain in the ass. Like the bus, there's something with the bus. Something happened that was annoying.
And then tonight, as late as possible, we're going to get on a bus and we're going to go to the airport. And I suspect we'll be at the airport by like 10 p.m. And then we just gotta kind of wait around until we can get our boarding pass, go through security, and then wait around. We can get on the plane, and then we get on the plane, and then we fly home.
And then we sleep.
I mean, to keep track of kind of what goes on through the day.
I got drunk on that plane.
Sounds fun.
I was really drunk.
Yeah, if you got drunk, I was probably drinking.
I don't think you were drunk like me, though.
Nah, because I can hold my liquor. Ish.
And I'm going to talk in Israel time just to make sure that everything makes sense and we can keep track of how long it is before we actually stop and get a chance to go back to sleep. So, like I said, it's 7:30 a.m. on the 17th of October. So here we go. Endurance run time, our last one. So it's going to be a biggie, but I'm glad at the end of it we don't have to wander around a city looking for a place to sleep. Sorry, I'm tired. Okay, so it's 10:30 in the morning and we have to check out of here at 11. So we're packing.
Why'd I get up at 7?
Maybe it was just a thing you did.
Yeah.
And I've just gotten done with the shower. And I'd like to point out something here. My hair is destroyed. My hair is just a complete, it feels like a rough patch of shit on my head. It's really awful. I'm looking forward to getting home and getting rid of my hair. And we woke up tired and exhausted. So we did the math and it's like 37 or 38 hours from now until we land in this. We don't have any place to stay in between those times, so should be a good time. You ready?
Yep.
How would you describe my hair?
Matted. Matty. There might be a creature that's living in it, I don't know.
So, they're just now installing all this. You can see this guy with a bunch of equipment in there. And they've been driving back and forth up and down the track. I guess testing the track. I don't know, but hey, it's a historic moment. People are actually driving the little rail system they're building in Jerusalem all of a sudden. So in 20 years, you can look back and be like, damn, that's the first time that happened.
That would be close to now.
Just walking on the street, and this is the first time in our entire trip we've been asked for, by an official, like a police officer or something, to see our passports. without, a reason. It's not like we were crossing a border or going into something.
Last day on the trip, and it was the first time anybody asked us for a passport.
The airport or something where you'd be expected to show it. Like, this was random. We were just walking down the street and they were like, hey, we need to see your passports. So it's funny that on the last day that we are basically the last day we're traveling is the first time that ever happened. So
I forgot that.
Weird. Okay, it's 1:50 now, Israeli time, and we have gone to the post office and walked all the way to the bus station and had some lunch. And we are now on a bus going to Tel Aviv, and we're going to go to Tel Aviv and hang out there for a few hours, and then we got to find out how late the latest bus leaves from Tel Aviv, and then to go to the airport. And then we will catch the bus from Tel Aviv to the airport, and then hang out there until the plane leaves. So, yeah.
Some of this could have been cut. Some of it's redundant. I would cut that now.
All right. Thank you, bus. It's 3:25 now. We have finally gotten our bearings in Tel Aviv, which included going into a bus station that's more like a shopping mall. Like, there's just tons and tons of little shops everywhere, and the information that you need to actually get somewhere by using a bus at the bus station really isn't very helpful. I had to go through 2 different companies to finally find the
There's just sofas outside.
airport.
Maybe it's a sofa shop.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Or a hookah bar.
To find out how late they would be running their buses, which is till 11 p.m. tonight, which is good news. And then we asked one of the other companies where we could leave our bags, and they told us that we could leave them with the pizza people across the street. So we went to the pizza people, and they, for 10 shekels, they'll hold 1 bag for however many hours you're going to be gone. So for 20 shekels, we're now bagless, which is wonderful. And we found a man that was in there that had maps and told us how to get to the beach. So we are going to go to the beach and spend a couple hours not sitting in the airport. Hooray.
Okay, so we didn't talk at all about something happened on this bus to Tel Aviv.
I felt like we got stuck in we got to Tel Aviv, but we had to sit in the bus for a really long time after even getting there. Like, there's something like that.
I remember like there an argument taking place with somebody or something too. Like something happened, but I don't remember. I just remember negativity. I could feel negativity around that transportation method.
And yeah, that's really all that's happened. The bus ride was really nice. It was actually pretty good. That's good.
Yeah, maybe I've got it confused with something else. I don't know.
So we have found the Mediterranean Sea.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Again. So we saw it in Alexandria in Egypt, and now we are in Tel Aviv. And all the people windsurfing is just amazing. It looks amazing. The sun setting and everything, it's pretty epic. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna be able to get in because I don't see any place for me to change. And honestly, that means I would have to fly home and be all like covered in salt water for the entire time. It's probably not the best of ideas. So that's how it is, and we'll probably see a sunset from here, and that's not so bad. Did you get your toes in? She did.
Eric's working on his kiteboarding abilities here. Seems to be good.
Still have that towel. I took it to when I went to Hokkaido on this last trip this year. I took that towel with me.
That's a towel.
Still in the ground.
The blue one maybe is not with us
The
anymore.
blue one sucks. It's still here.
Oh, is it?
And one of the towels, I accidentally put an iron-on it, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it because it looks like Superman iron-on.
Oh.
And I'm not really that person, but I was a super sprinkle for a year.
Oh.
And so I don't like taking that one around.
Oh no, I'm a little disappointed.
I'm not sure what the deal is, but there is a ton of pregnant women in Israel. Like, it seems like 10% of the women are in some stage of pregnancy. Most of them look like they're about 11 months pregnant. Like, this lady we just walked by was just like exploding with babies.
That's it.
Oh man, I weaseled down on that.
Weaseled down on that.
if you want nice people, don't come to Israel. Like, everybody here is rude, doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And
here we go.
Wow.
They won't help you at all. Everything is confusing, nothing makes any sense, and nobody is willing to help anybody. They will walk into you, they will push you over. Everybody in the streets is just like really obnoxious the way they walk. Yada, yada, yada. Like, we just asked a guy that works here. He's a security guard here. Where's the ATM? Like 5 feet back. He's like, I don't know. Look at this. Like, it's just like redundantly obnoxious that nobody gives a crap about helping anybody. So, I mean, lots of stuff to see, not much to do, and the people are dicks.
Maybe this is what I was thinking about when I was thinking about the thing. Yeah, man, I was in a mood.
Okay, so after a stream of like 10 people that were just completely worthless, I mean, these are all employees of places that don't want to help anything. This lady that was just like a customer in the bus station completely helped us and straightened everything out and got everything.
This must have been the bus ride that was in my head.
Explained, and very nice lady. So let's say that redeems Israel for one little slight thing. And what time is it?
7:23.
It's 7:23 in the evening, and we are on a bus on the way to the airport. Okay, so it is 8:30 Israeli time in the evening, and it's a little quick update. We have found our places to sit, and we can check in at 2 a.m. and then we can get our boarding passes, and then we can go wait for our 5 a.m. flight. So this is what we're gonna do for a while, is just sit here in these seats and, you know, chill. Right back.
Erica's now exiting. We are having our first lounge experience at the Tel Aviv airport.
Do you remember going through security in the airport?
Yes.
Let's see if we talk about it. If we don't, we'll talk about it in a minute.
And it's been pretty entertaining thus far because there's free food, and there's free soda, and there's free Wi-Fi, and there's free electricity. All of those make us very, very happy because we were worried that we weren't going to get any food at all. It's pretty nice. It's much smaller than I had expected. But there it is.
The lounge in Madrid was amazing.
Okay, so we've been told that the security at the international airport in Israel was going to be like a complete disaster and a really big pain in the ass. And it was definitely stricter than any place we've ever been, but it wasn't horrible. You have to go through security with all of your baggage before you check your bags, before you get your boarding passes or anything, which is, you know, peculiar because normally you get your boarding pass, check your bags, and then you go through security with your carry-on. That's it. But we don't check any bags, so everything is just carry-on, so it's no different to us. So you stand in this big long line that doesn't make any sense, and then this girl comes up to you, like she's just walking along, and she's like asking people questions and stuff, and she kind of interviews you, and she asked us like who we were and where we were going and how long we'd been in Israel and what we were doing and where we'd been and like if we lived together at home and how long we'd known each other and like kind of like personal questions, things you wouldn't get asked in the States, definitely. And then she takes this little sticker and puts it on the back of your passport and marks it. And after that sticker gets marked with whatever markings that means, everybody treats you just like, okay, whatever, just go on. But the people, like, this guy behind us was, like, standing behind us, like, smacking his hand, like, annoyed that he was having to wait in this line. And she marked a different symbol on his and stuck him in a line where he had to, like, run his things through his bag, run his bags through these machines, and then go to this, like, big stand where they got these big monitors. And, like, they go through your bag and they mark everything in the bag on the monitor, like, what you're carrying. So, like, he had an attitude, so his day got screwed. And then, like,
I remember
after all
that.
that, you
Yeah.
have to go through the normal security that you would have to go through to get, like, carry-on baggage in, and then you have to go through immigration, et cetera, et cetera. So every one of those steps, they look at this little sticker, and every time they saw this little sticker for us, they were like, oh, go ahead, no problem. And every time they probably saw the sticker for that guy, they were probably like, oh, here are the rubber gloves, good luck. Just being a little bit smiley actually got us a long way there. But other than that, it's been all right, normal stuff. We hung out in that lounge And now we're about to jump on the plane and sit up front for once. So no more sitting in the back with the shit munchers for us. We are riding.
We still use that phrase all the time, that we are riding with the shit munchers.
Yeah, we're
all
the shit
the time.
munchers now. Yeah, so the tickets that we had were business class, I think, that your mom had given us.
Yeah, that's what was said earlier.
It was the only time we've ever been in that situation I can recall.
I don't know if I'm going to talk about it, but whenever I talk to somebody who's going to be in first class or business class or whatever, I'm always like, you got to ask for seconds on ice cream. You can get seconds on ice cream.
Okay, so it is 11:30 in the morning on, I don't even know what day, the day after yesterday. And we have arrived in Madrid, and we wanted to go into the city, but like after looking at the way the airport is laid out and the amount of time we have, we don't have time, so we're not going.
I remember you being bummed about that. I remember having to hard veto it, and you being bummed.
The city, but we're in another one of those lounges where like there's like a bunch of free food and they have showers and stuff. So I'm gonna take a shower because I mean, you know, I got nothing else to do. So we're still in this lounge thing in Madrid, and I am going to take a shower. Look at this. Look at this shower. It's got like those like jets that shoot out all over the place, and like we were just talking about how we've been traveling for 14 months, and this is by far, hands down, the most luxurious area of anything that we've been in. So it's kind of a nice way to go home, to be completely honest, and it's really nice. I haven't had a shower in like 24 hours or more.
Are you drunk now?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had been drinking at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's gonna be nice to actually get a shower and actually get to go home not feeling like a complete ball of crap. So I gotta change of clothes, I'm gonna take a shower, I'm going to get my hair did, it's gonna look good. Alright.
I remember going in this lounge area. I remember there being like this like dark room that we could go into.
Yeah, we laid on a couch.
Laid on like this couch.
I remember the couch.
And it was like a private little couch, and you know people be banging in those little couches.
Yeah.
But I remember drinking a lot of wine, and then sleeping while you watched a movie.
Oh, I watched a movie.
And it was like one of the best naps I've had in my entire life. Finger bang couch.
It wasn't. I don't think it was.
I mean, not with us, but somebody else in the room might have been finger banging.
So get a load of this.
Yeah, this. Okay, we show it.
There's nobody else in here, and this is the lounge. Like, we're just gonna hang out in here and watch movies and take a nap. I mean, what the hell? And there's like free food and like, I mean, there's an open bar, like completely like expensive alcohol leaked up there, and what is going on? Like, why does this happen? And the internet is not free. How messed up is that? They're like, oh, we'll get you tipsy, we'll get you boozed up, but if you want to get online, check your email, it's gonna cost you. It's a weird set of priorities. Europe.
What? What's that got to do with Europe? Now it's just like you gotta click a bunch of buttons about cookies.
Yeah. Those cookies aren't free, you're gonna have to click.
Okay, so it's 4 o'clock right now.
Yeah, we would never pay for business class personally, but we'll take it as a gift.
Israeli time, which is also actually local time too, so figure that out. We flew 5 hours and didn't go across the time zone. I'm sure daylight savings time is the culprit in this case, but it's still weird. Anyway, so we're getting ready to get on our plane. Look at the airport though, it's really nice. We hadn't walked around at all because we were in our luxury siesta lounge.
I did watch you take a snooze. You had a mega siesta.
Yeah, I did.
You
I
got a
napped.
little tipsy on some champagne, and then you
Champagne. Oh.
It's a hot date.
Okay, so this is insane. We'll show.
Something else that happened in Madrid that we didn't talk about. We were, after coming out of Israel and all the chaoticness that was going on with all the things that we had seen, we were in the airport in Madrid, and we were standing in line like good citizens, because that's who we are. And we were waiting to go to a... Well, what's that? Do you have another one?
Nope.
Can I have it?
No, I got it for me.
What?
But maybe I can break it in half.
That doesn't seem breakable.
It's okay.
Oh, your view of Japan is... Oh, nice. Awesome. Oh, that's good to hear, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, David. So we were in a line, and some people cut in front of us from a country that I can't remember. They were like from a country that wasn't good with lines, but I don't remember what it was. And do you remember the lady that worked there? It was like the Spanish lady that was working there. She yelled at them and told them to get in the back of the line, and it scared them, and they did it because they cut right in front of us.
Where was this? In the airport?
In the airport in Madrid. Yeah. It was just like, oh, there's order here.
We'll show the seats later. I'll get that all straightened out later. But first off, we're eating, and they've already come through with like the wine cart, and we got our water and like everything. And now we're working on appetizers. And she is getting bread all over my computer.
That's normal.
And so it's like a bread, and then you've got these couple of little like oils, you know, in case you needed that, and then some like mushrooms and asparagus, and that's a veal consomme, and then some cheeses and some grapes. Yeah. So this is round one, and I've ordered my steak tenderloin, and she ordered something we're not even sure what it is.
It's fish.
It's a fish of some sort.
I don't know what kind of fish.
Okay, so we'll keep you updated. What time is it? It's 6:25 p.m. now. Israeli time. Just keeping you updated. Quick addition here. This veal consomme, not only is it the only veal consomme I've ever had in my life, it's also the best veal consomme I've ever had in my life. Exquisite. This is good stuff. And this is the main course for me. So you can see it's a little small, but that's okay, because all the other courses I'm pretty full already. And Katie has this big slice of fish.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does look alright.
I want some fish.
What is it?
I don't know. Something with cherries.
Some sort of ice cream brulee type of thing.
Raspberries. It's a raspberry
something
thing.
or other.
It's very, very good. Alright, so I wanted to show you the capabilities of our stuff that we have here. Go ahead. The seats seriously lay all the way down. Like, they get flat.
It's the only time in my life that I fit on an airplane. Adult life.
Pretty ridiculous. Like, I took a hardcore snooze, and Eric's been asleep pretty much the whole time we've been here. That's one of the things. Then we've got television.
It's called a television.
Oh, wow. We're going to get there pretty early. We are going to be waiting on Jesse, and I'm going to be like, what the? Right now, it is 11:22. We have been traveling for a very, very long time. Yeah, surprisingly, we've had a lot of sleep, and I am ready for a snack. I'm about to have myself a snack.
Do you know who that's from?
Yeah. This is.
I'm stoked about a power plug. That's like normal stuff even in ship muncher class now, isn't it?
They took it away from us. Yeah.
Heaven. I'm getting back into my blankie and getting into my pod so they can bring me a snack.
Okay, it's 1:17 a.m. Israeli time on Tuesday, and we have just landed in Dulles, and we are getting ready to get off the plane. How are you feeling?
Good. Nervous.
Got
butterflies.
Yeah.
Surprises make me nervous. Even when they're not surprises for me.
Alright, it's 1:44 in the morning Israeli time, but it's 7:44 p.m. the day before American time. So we time traveled backwards or something. Hey, look, it's Jesse.
Knowing him would have gone like the first time.
Just
Got an elephant.
hanging around in the background. Wally.
I see. Give me Wally.
Yeah, it was very much mixed emotions. We were tired though. We were ready to go home at that point, but it was still like kind of like, I don't know. There were a lot of different thoughts and emotions going on. It was weird because we talked about this last week a little bit. We were just kind of going into like unknown in a way that was like even crazier than the unknown we'd been living in.
That person loves us.
Oh no. It smells like hot dogs.
All right, let's go. Okay, I know this is going to be really dark, but it's like 3:15 a.m. Israeli time.
Do you remember? We didn't talk about this at all. We would have gone through this at different times. I think when we came into America. Do you remember what happened? Like the border guards. Do you remember talking to the immigration or anything when you came into America that time?
Not really.
I just remember him flipping through my passport, which was chaos. Like to the point of where we had to have extra pages added. And I remember him being like kind of annoyed like with it a little bit with me. Like just like, well, you gotta tell me where you went. And I was just like, bro, like
It's gonna be a bit.
how long we want to talk about this? But then he was just like, whatever, and just let me in. But I was wondering if you remembered how you got talked to or whatever. But
I remember it wasn't difficult.
Sorry about it. Thank you guys. There's too many buttons for me to have to push.
It's like, what, 9 o'clock here? 9:15? Ish, I think, in the States. And we're walking up to Katie's parents' house, which is there. And they have...
It's got nothing to do with the Stream Deck. I just have to push the button. I never remember to push the button.
Don't push play yet. I got a chomp and it's gonna be really loud.
Okay. Was that a tooth?
Yeah.
You could have covered it up with a squonk.
Okay, I think we're good now.
They have no idea where we are. They have no idea where we are, so this should be interesting.
They think we are in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, they think we're in Israel still. So, yeah, here we go.
Don't dox yourself. I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, no, we don't know who lives there anymore. Does it feel weird to see that footage though, walking up to that house like that?
I know how it feels. My car used to be parked there a lot. Like right where we're walking. My mom's car would be parked there if my car wasn't parked there. To the left in the garage is going to be like a whole bunch of like stupid shit my dad has that I'm not allowed to touch. That door to the left never gets opened, but the door to the right gets opened quite frequently because that's where you walk in to just go straight into the house. And here we go. I just bought a hose.
Yeah. You know your mom would be sitting in there watching TV.
There's my dad's shit I'm not allowed to touch.
Yeah.
Are you rolling?
Yeah.
So I've already seen her. She's inside.
Yeah.
Like, because you can peek into those windows really easily.
Oh my god! Oh my god! How did you get home?
It's straight talk. My mom really loves me.
Getting a hug from the front and the back.
Clean champ list on the clearboard.
Oh, there's a clean champ.
Ooh, Jerome. Jerome's in the corner.
Oh.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
Oh.
Hi.
good addition.
Is your dad downstairs?
What are you doing here?
I got bored.
We got bored.
Where is that? Does it still exist?
No, it needs to go. What if I find somebody who can mail me that shit before my mom gets here and have that shit
You're good
up?
at finding it.
Yeah, where's that? My mom's insane.
Now you can help us hang it.
Were you gonna be in the airport with that? Okay, it's 5:18 a.m. Israeli time. My schedule is kind of like completely nuts. I'm not really that tired though, even though that sounds like nuts. I mean, we traveled for like 48 hours or something. And I am now in the room where we left all of the worldly possessions that we own. So if you're curious as to what we own after doing something like this, it is all right here.
Most of this is gone.
Plastic bins, and it's all of our clothes and anything that we own. And
Yeah, we got there early, so we didn't know they made a banner, but they didn't know we were coming home early.
Yeah.
So it was like we just trumped their
It
surprise.
was really funny to just watch them walk it out.
this little bit of stuff here, and that's it. So I'm gonna look for some clothes to wear that aren't the awful clothes I've been wearing for the last 14 months. I'm very stoked about this.
I think I put on Cupcake.
In addition to this,
So basically, if you're trying to surprise me, you've got to out-surprise me surprising you.
Yeah.
So you got to put that banner up like at least a week in advance.
I'll be sure to remember that.
Okay,
I've
good.
got a drum set and a bass amp at another friend's house, but like I said, we don't have a lot between the two of us, so it's gonna be kind of fun.
He's upstairs. Mario music. See with that lazy bear.
Oh yeah, he loves the snuggle.
That's all he does, man.
I learned it from him. I know what's next. Take it to the air. Take it to the air. Oh, yeah.
The Nintendo's lawyers are going to come through the windows. All right, take it easy.
Bye bye.
Have a good trip. All right, guys, let's do some photos here. And
Doors of Jerusalem. That's a really
yeah, I just thought that was kind of
good
cool when I
idea.
was looking through the pictures. I thought that was neat.
Is that a poster or a
Yeah,
postcard?
it's like a poster.
Oh.
It's like on a wall. It's kind of cool. You we get doors at Tachikawa.
Maybe we should do.
This is cool. This is better. You can see the trash tractor here. It was dark when I made that video. There's the P.
Oh, I see the P.
Do you see the
now.
P here?
I was distracted by the more interesting thing, which was the language I couldn't read.
Visitors show respect for the holy place. Nobody does that. Decent attire. I didn't do that.
Some people definitely
Enter
didn't
with
do that.
respect and correctly. Kind of nobody did that.
No, I don't know how you would correctly.
Silence and order. That wasn't happening.
No.
No, weapons probably were not. I didn't see any weapons. TV shooting will not be allowed inside the church except with permissions for the. This is not TV. I'm looking at it on a TV, but it doesn't count as TV. No chewing of gum, smoking, eating. So most of those rules were broken. The one thing I always remember from your videos was New Year's. Oh yeah. This is the dragon getting slayed by the. What was it? Somebody explained it to us, like the Arch Knight Cardinal of England or something. Protectorate. The line going into.
Jesus' birthplace.
Yep. I always like this picture. I think I took it because it's up so high. You see, like this lady is, huh?
I think you took it.
She's like carrying that flower for her tour group, and I waited for the light to hit it. I think it just gave me something to do. And get your Jesus goods here. God, look at the line. That's the only picture I have of a stranger touching the little thing where Jesus was maybe born. Yeah, there we go. Patron saint of England. That's right. Inside the church.
That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, it's really cool. The colors are just wonderful.
I can make that.
So do it.
Okay.
What's stopping you?
But right now, I'm a little tired.
You're already lining up excuses. Oh, just a sign saying that this was being renovated by the president of Palestine. Yeah. I'm assuming these are pictures of inside of the West Bank. Stars and bucks.
No copy infringement here.
No, thanks, David. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. It's been fun for us, too. Dope ride.
Yeah.
Long and low. The exclusive smoking experience. King sized.
Wow. Does King smoke?
I think I just caught my eye that there was like a Porsche in Palestine. I don't know why wouldn't there be, but why would there be at the same time? I like this because it's spelled Linux.
Are those operating systems?
It's supposed to be Linux.
I know, but CCNA.
It's the Microsoft Linux, Microsoft IT Academy. I don't think Linux is a thing, and I don't think I would go learn about Linux from the Linux people.
I like below that it says, "Do you speak English?"
Yeah. Lots of
Cisco certified network administrator.
Lots of just like the Stars and Bucks thing and the Marvel restaurant, just like lots of copyright infringement that nobody gives a shit about there, which is, I guess, a thing. And there's gonna be a bunch of pictures of the security wall. Oh yeah, here, we didn't talk about these, but this is like pictures of these photos like this were up. 5 continents, 4 somethings, 1 world. What's the next thing? I don't know what that word means. Windstricken? What language is that?
Can we zoom? Bitch, if you can't. Windstricken.
5 continents, 4 blah 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 is 1 world. What is this? Does anybody got any guesses, or is that a language that is? Anybody here know that? Or what is this? What's going on with this map? Got a 1, an equals, a plus, a 5, a 4. I don't know. Whatever math this is, I don't do. Dutch, the 4 wind directions.
It says it's a meme. Might want to just back away.
I am not smart enough to decipher this thing. Anyways. It means kaze. But we just took a couple pictures of the ones that we were like, yeah, okay, we've been to that place.
It's one of my favorite pictures. Do you know who that is?
It's Paris Hilton.
I'm just checking.
Who do you think I am? You think I don't know who Paris Hilton is?
Sometimes you don't know who people are.
I've seen her movie.
Which one? Which one?
She has a porn movie, right?
Yeah.
Is this a joke? I haven't actually seen it, but I've
seen her movie.
Does she have real movies?
Yes.
Points of a compass, I see.
Yeah, the breakthrough art was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is where the buses would stop, too. So the buses would come up and stop here, and then they would go on, and then they'd let them through. But that's like the only picture of the checkpoint that we have. The entrance that we went through was like over to the left.
That's pretty crazy.
Hmm. And now we're on the Israeli side. You can see the wall has like no graffiti on it at all. And that's at the Holocaust Museum, looking out over Israel like we talked about before. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre in the evening.
That creepy bear.
Creepy bear.
Do not neglect our children.
What is this?
Children are dear
Bark
to us.
it? Bark at? Do not neglect our children? What is it? Am I reading that right? Bark
Yeah.
at? Maybe it's a word from another language or something. It's French. Maybe.
Huh.
I don't know.
It's weird that this photo... It's weird to have a photo that we don't have...
I have no connection to this at
Yeah.
all. Like if you show me this picture, like, did you take this picture?
Businessman and politician currently serving as Minister of Economy.
Oh, okay. It's not French. It's a name. I see. Just kind of like this when I saw it. It's like Things and Stuff, Brothers Moving Company. It's wholesome. It says French High School of Jerusalem. That's why I guessed it was French, because I saw the French flag. A group of people singing. Four Corners of the World. Okay, I see. I just saw this and it's just like there was these tacky t-shirt places or whatever.
Seems to be the opposite.
At the moment, but it's a bit of a... Think about the time period that was in. And pictures of the beach in Tel Aviv before we left. Yeah, this is a pretty strong memory for me.
It makes sense that it is, too.
Yeah. Like somebody mentioned, it was kind of like emotionally complex at that point.
We can fly. 69. I really thought that's why the picture was taken, but it wasn't.
It says Washington. You like little things like that?
It's decadent. It was just overly decadent. It was unnecessary. Oh, yeah, I ate a lot of those things. Maybe I couldn't get the extra ice cream. I just asked for more of those. I don't remember.
Like, that's the airplane. So much room compared to normal flights. Hey, that's my butt.
It's just your mole.
That's perverse.
Oh, I took that picture.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
You taking a picture of my butt mole.
And then you put it on the internet.
I didn't notice it until there.
Why are there 2 lines?
What's that?
Why are there 2 lines?
It's a really good question.
We didn't go back and forth. That's weird.
And so
I
this
got
is
my ills on.
This is you got those in Korea, and the shoes I'm wearing I got in China.
I still have those shoes.
I still have
super glue them.
Do I still have mine? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So this is the last. This is us leaving the airport, like in America, like arriving at the airport. We're arriving, but we're departing. And this was when we left. So that's the picture of us at the very, very beginning of our trip and the very, very end. It's interesting, like we're very different people by the end of that experience. You know what I mean? But we kind of look the same. I don't know.
I look different.
Do we look like we did some shit? Not, do we? You think so? Mm-hmm. Do we look naive here?
Mm-hmm.
You
I
see,
look like a baby.
Do you see that in you? Like,
yeah. I look at my eyebrows there and I was like, oh, you pampered little bitch. You got your eyebrows done did. And yeah, I don't know why that's the first thing that strikes.
Which picture, which you do you associate yourself with more?
Now?
Yeah.
The later one.
The later one.
But I still see both. Like, have an attachment to both.
I see.
Obviously.
And that is the last photo of the around the world trip stuffs. You and that lazy bear.
That was an unbelievable sleep.
I remember being up really late. Like all my time and schedule stuff was all thrown in the toilet or something. I don't know. Anyway, so just like that video ended and was like, we will be picking up next on a trip across America. That's what we're going to be doing next week, I believe. I need to look at the footage. But I think the next thing we filmed was traveling across the United States. I don't think we did any like stuff in between. So next week will be the first half of that trip. The following week will be the second half of that trip. And then I don't know, we might take a break. Call that the first season of us watching us. So I'm tired now, and I'm gonna go to bed. So I appreciate everybody hanging out, and we will be back next week. I'm not certain what's gonna happen on Sunday, if I'm gonna have time to stream or not. It's possible I will not. So I
will probably not be existing in that.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
You got stuff to do.
I don't have stuff to do, but I'm going to be going and doing Halloween stuff, so I doubt I'm going to be getting up early.
Well, I'm going to be going and doing Halloween stuff, too.
True. I
contemplated live streaming that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could either live stream it, I could film it, or I could live stream it and film it.
I haven't asked the guys if they're interested in either having it filmed or being live streamed, so I might need to ask them how they feel about having a live stream. I know one of them in particular probably isn't going to care, but the other one might be like, I'm not really interested in having that layer. And I don't know if I'm interested in having that layer. Like, I'm already coordinating with my friends to do something that makes me nervous. Mm-hmm. Granted that it being live stream would probably motivate me more to enjoy it, but it just adds a layer of complexity.
You guys could kind of ignore the live stream and I would just have to deal with the live stream. But I do want to film it. But anyway, that would be, if we do that, that would be Saturday night our time. So it kind of puts Sunday into I don't know what's going to happen, and I have to finish some other stuff this month. So I don't know if I'm going to have time to stream on Sunday. But anyway, we'll be back next Tuesday like normal to do the first bit of driving across America. And yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Let me click on the right computer. I need a stream deck. All right, guys. See y'all later. Bye.